In today's episode, I'm going to poke some holes in the ceiling and fill them in. I'm going to show you how I opened up this fireplace here, and then I'll also start preparing the room for the installation of underfloor insulation and wet underfloor heating. New here, subscribe below and check out the rest of my house renovation playlist, or if you're into van conversions, then have a look on my channel because I've got probably 50 videos on my van conversion, which is also ongoing. So to those of you coming over from the van conversion, thank you very much for checking out this new series. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get on. Crikey, that's some intro. The first thing I want to do here is take up this laminate flooring. Who knows what kind of damp it's hiding underneath? Let's get it up, out the way, and go from there. Can't remember if I've shown you these doors yet. They are absolutely atrocious. If I try and close the door, that's how far it closes. And then it gets better. If I bring you around like this to the side of the door, it's really something else. Someone has tried to make the door fit into the opening by taking a carving knife to the side of the door. And to give you a good idea of how bad this is, that's my laser line there. And this is the door. It's wild. Anyhow, I'm going to take this door off because clearly it doesn't do much at the moment. And it's also going to get somewhat in the way of removing this laminate. That, I'll just close for a moment. And I guess I also want to remove all the skirting as well. That was easy, and the floor's in surprisingly good nick. Now, at some point in the future, all this floor will be coming up to do wet underfloor heating, but it's staying firmly in place for the moment. Before I start moving tools in here, I've been itching to try out two new tools I bought. I bought a Makita cordless SDS, and I've also bought a dust arrest, which is an attachment for your angle grinder. It's like a massive shroud that hooks up to your dust extractor and pretty much gives you zero dust, supposedly. And what better way to test it out than to open up the fireplace for eventually putting a log burner in there. One of the promises I made to myself before starting any of these projects was to take my health and safety that bit more seriously. And I never wear safety glasses, and that's because they're so uncomfortable going over your prescription glasses. So the solution, prescription safety glasses with sides attached to them, and these are like whatever plastic, and they're fantastic. So I've got that, I've got a mask, this hooked up to the dust extractor, and then I've got my SDS drill to use as well. What I don't know is how high up it originally went before it was bricked in. I know this could never have been gas because there's no gas to the village. So what I'm going to do is use the angle grinder to score a line in the plaster, at this kind of size, so that when I knock the plaster away, I'm not knocking out great chunks of it further afield. That's the theory anyway. day before, whilst I was removing all of the wallpaper, I noticed a few places in the house where it looked as though there might be leaks in the ceiling. So I decided to take a closer look at both and work out what I needed to do to fix them. Something I've noticed whilst doing all this is this suspicious looking wet patch. What I've done is I measured off of this wall to there, which is 730 mil, and if I go upstairs, that wall runs along here, the downstairs wall, so measuring back 730 into this room is this plank, which clearly has been cut and removed at some point. That tells me that it was removed to sort the leak and there's nothing I need to do, but I would like to pull the floorboard up again and just double check. With this floorboard up, I can confirm my measurement because this has revealed the edge of the wall. So I can put this down here and measure back to about there, 730, which is about here. And I can look under here and I can see the mark is along a plasterboard joint, but it's bone dry all the way along and there's no evidence of any pipes having run along here ever, because there's not the holes in the floor joists to prove that. So I'm happy with that, but whilst the floorboard's up, I'm gonna get the dust extractor in there because I just hate it. I hate it when people leave crap under the floorboards. So I'll sort that out. And anytime I spot redundant cable like this one, I'll remove it. I think all of these large pipes, they're all defunct, but I'll investigate before I rip them out. If I even rip them out, they could just stay in situ, but I want to make my life as easy as possible in the future. The likelihood is upstairs I just keep radiators, but if I were to do underfloor heating, well, why not remove the redundant pipes now if I can easily? So that's one potential leak solved. No further action required. Let's now move into the kitchen where there's another hole in the ceiling that needs addressing. So in my house, the toilet uses an iron shit pipe that goes from up in the loft. I've worked out that it comes down through here to the right. Halfway along it is where the toilet goes into the shit pipe, and then it continues further along and then drops down into the shed below. And wherever it was leaking, I haven't got that far yet, it caused some quite bad damage. It is extremely flaky here. It's not good. So that's going to be, I'd say, around about here. So I'll measure from the stick to here. That's a metre. So I need to measure a metre from the stick, which is here. Oh, it's going to come easily. There we go. If you watched the earlier videos in this playlist, then you might recall that I'm suddenly missing a wall. And that is what I'm going to be working towards in the next episode. I am getting really close now to hitting the target of 4,000 public watch hours in a calendar year, and it's a really critical time of year for my channel because it was about a year ago that I started uploading again, and some of the views from a year ago are going to start dropping off. So if you've got time, have a flick through my channel, and if there's any videos you haven't watched that you fancy watching, have a look. Get me those watch hours up to 4,000 and I can make more videos. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.